Hello everybody, welcome to Red Tool House. Today, we are not at Red Tool House. Actually, Dad and I hit the road early this morning. We are in, where are we? Are we still in Rockledge County? Yeah, so we're in Western Virginia, over near Staunton, or Stanton for you local people. And we're on our trip to get our pigs. So we started early this morning. We're going to go over to Revercomb Farm, where Mindy Lipinski is, and picking up our 6 piglets. So that's what we're doing right now. We just stopped, fueled up, and gonna grab a bite to eat real quick. But excited to get these pigs and obviously get them back on the farm. Dealing with some flooding issues back at home, but fortunately the weather's been great over here on the other side of the Appalachian Mountains. So we're gonna bring you guys along and of course show a little bit of Mindy's farm. She's agreeable to that as we get there, and of course show you the loading of the pigs and hopefully getting them home and getting them safely in their trading paddock. So come with us.
Okay.
All right, so I'm here at Revercomb Farm with Mindy Lipinski. Say hi, Mindy.
Hey.
So Mindy's been on our podcast. If you guys listen to the podcast, she's been on the podcast. We met each other. It's been, several years ago. We met at HOA. Got to talking. So we're here at her farm. She's obviously the one we're getting the pigs from, but we're gonna take a little tour real quick and take you guys with us before we load our little devils and head back west. So, Mindy, you mind showing us around?
Sure, come on, let's go.
Right. So I didn't realize you have an on-farm store. I didn't realize that until we pulled in.
Yep. So that was just a way to make it more convenient for people to buy our products here. And then, because I do pastured poultry, so I process that here on the farm under an exemption. Even though I raise pigs, I don't sell pastured pork. My friend Margaret at Open Door Homestead has pastured pork. So she does farrow to finish. I just do farrow to weaning. So I have her pork available in the store. And then I just kind of opened it up and made friends with other local farmers that, made jams and jellies and made things and did all the things that I would love to do. I just don't have time to. So anyway, it's just a convenient place for people local to here to just stop by. Say I have a online store, so they can put in their order online and just come here and pick it up, or I have established store hours too. So, and then we try to do community events too, to just get people here and to just introduce them to us and what we do. Just focus on farm to table and seasonal eating and living. So anything that we can do to encourage people to come out and experience the farm, and then also hopefully be customers of ours. We're all about it. So
cool.
All kinds of things.
Awesome. Good deal. So this is where you've got.
So I do
broilers right there. Yeah.
Yep. So I do pastured poultry. That's one of my main enterprises here. Because we're still really early in the season, these guys would normally be out in their chicken tractors by now. I try to move them out about 2 weeks, but because we've had the rains coming through and we've had the colder temperatures, they're in here a little bit longer, but they're supposed to be going out this coming week into the chicken tractors.
Yeah, they look good.
So yeah, they're not nearly as fun as the pigs, but they're super, super quick. And there's just not a lot of people that do pastured poultry around here, which is surprising because it's one of the very few things the government lets you do legally and process it on the farm and sell. So, and the turnaround, 6 to 8 weeks from start to finish, you can't match that with anything else. So I'm just shocked that more people don't do it.
That's awesome.
Opportunities.
That's nice.
So this is the farrowing field. This is where the mamas come when they're about to farrow out. I take them out of the breeding herd. So they get separate accommodations. They get special feeding, double rations while they've got babies that they're nursing. And they just get to take a break and not be bothered by the other members of the herd or the boar. My pigs are really communal. Like, I don't have an issue, knock on wood, with like any aggression at all, but I just want mamas to be able to concentrate on having babies and raising babies without being pestered. Plus, like I said, they get double rations, so that's really, you have to segregate them out for that. So anyway, they just come over here to the spa and have a nice 2 months where they can just be good moms. I've got this farrowing barn right here with 3 separate stalls that has the bumpers in it. if they choose to, I have some sows that choose to just farrow out in the field, and I usually have like a round bale or something out here for them to use if they need it. But so anyway, they stay here, and then babies get weaned into that field over there. At weaning, I try to give them, you know, several days a week to acclimate, just being away from their mom, but mom is right here on the other side of the fence. And then after that period, babies go to new farms, and then moms go back into the main field with the breeding herd.
We got what, 3 bays, 4
just
bays?
Just
bays?
3. And then, so the 3 farrowing stalls, so they've got a bumper on the one side that keeps them from pinning babies up against the wall. And then they have a corner. And then it's a little dirty right now because I don't use them often, but like in the winter time, I've got where I can heat.
Yeah.
I can heat a corner if I want to just draw babies away from mom. If we're having a really, really cold snap. I don't use any type of crate or anything. I just cull like a sow that can't continuously not lay on her babies, just doesn't make the cut to be in the breeding herd.
Exactly.
So I have the heated corners that I can use if needed. And so each of the stalls has a piglet door that I can open or shut. And then each of the stalls also has a door on the outside with a ramp. Yeah. So that way, if babies do manage to get out into the field, they can make their way back into the stall.
Yeah. So using this as a creep area for all 3 bays. Here's the little trough. And then, as you said, when it's time to gather them up and put them out into the weaning paddock, or as for today, we're going to be taking some of these guys, and you just corral them down here.
Yep, and then they have their own little paddock. So that is actually set up to be a weaning pen to train them to electricity. So it's got hard panels on all the sides, and then I just have an electric interior that gives them their first introduction to electricity.
Okay. Yeah, because that's what we set up on the farm this week. So we've got our training paddock ready. I wasn't sure if you'd have them trained yet or not.
Well, they're you know, they've been introduced.
Right.
So at least they're vaguely familiar that white tape
exactly
bites.
Yeah, and we'll obviously establish new ground, all that stuff. They'll need a refresher anyway. So.
And then so over here is my main breeding herd. I have this little pen that's a segregation field if I need to move anybody and keep them separate. But these are the rest of my sows, and then my boar. I've got a Berkshire boar, and then my sows are various breeds, just all large hogs. So they stay over here most of the time. I'm in the process right now of setting up my rotational system to kind of help manage them and manage my fields a little bit better. Right now, currently, I've just been kind of moving them from one big field to another big field to just kind of give the ground a break. Right now, you can see we have it fenced off where the orange flags are because we've seeded the back. The back of their pasture, and we're giving it a chance to grow. And eventually, I'd like to build a fence around the pond and then put their shelters inside that fence and feed them up here on the fence line. So that'll be their sacrifice area. And then we're just going to do like wagon wheel type paddocks around that, where they'll just have access to one paddock at a time. So that way I can have good recovery. Good recovery of the grass, because also, especially, you know, when the grass really gets to growing, I've got other animals that can utilize that. So I've brought in the horses before to kind of graze down what the pigs don't graze down. You know, all of my chickens, my layers, and my meat birds are pastured. So at any given time, like, I have different species on the ground. So there's a lot of movement here, but we're just trying to manage what we have and just be good stewards of everything, and then just, you know, making sure that the animals are always kept on good ground, and, you know, just keep them as healthy as possible. So it's a lot of management, but it's
paying off. It's like you said on camera, that here we are so early in the spring and the grass looks as good as it does. It's fantastic.
Yeah, and it's always, I mean, we've just, you know, we live in a pretty, in a pretty prolific area, but I think that you can definitely tell, because you can go around to farms and you can see farms where there's just a lot of erosion. You know, there's a lot of rocks coming through and just, you know, patchy ground. And then on my fields, you know, I keep 10 to 12 large hogs on here, and really where the ground is not growing, it's where we feed them every day. And then you can tell here we get leaves from the town. They drop them off here when they collect them, so we're pretty cognizant through the winter time when they're up on these sacrifice areas to keep cover as best we can, to just kind of help manage that a little bit.
Yeah, that looks great.
So then that's one of our fields too. Over in the distance, we have a bunch of freeloader horses.
I say hay burners.
I was one of those girls. I was an equestrian major for a while.
Okay.
Now people just like, hey, you have a farm, you want these animals? And I was like, sure, I'll take them. So they are completely, they're lawn ornaments, but they're getting ready to, I just haven't had time in the last couple weeks, but they're getting ready to have their paddocks set up too, where they'll rotate around. Yeah.
So are both of these meadows yours there?
Actually, the one that is yellow is my cousin's.
Oh, okay.
Cousin's land, because, you know, I live right in the middle of a big family compound. So
you were saying this land goes all the way back to your great grandparents?
Yes. So this farm was originally my great grandparents' home place. And so there's about 100 or so acres now. It's a little bit smaller than it used to be. And so we own 35, and then the rest are my dad and my uncles and cousins and stuff.
Nice.
So this back here, this front field, is a paddock where we have our steer. I don't grow cattle, but we'll grow out a steer every year or two for our own personal use and just process them here. So it's our steer, and I have 2 gilts that are up here in this field somewhere. They must be on the other side. Okay. They're just, they're a little too small. Oh, there's one.
Yeah, there's one.
Yeah. So anyway, they're just a little, they're old enough, but I just haven't put them in with the boar hog yet.
Yeah, there's the other one inside the steer.
I planned on AIing them their first breeding.
Oh, okay.
And just giving them a little bit more size before I put them in there. Yeah. They came from the local county fair. So they're show type pigs, so they're kind of short and squatty.
Oh, and uppity too.
Yeah. They're sweet. They're sweet.
Oh, okay,
so
good.
Anyway, so that's why they're up here. And then for the winter, I always bring my layers hen into their hoop house, and so they have their hoop house area set up. And then behind the hoop house right now is our mobile egg coop, which we are going to transition them over to here in the next several weeks. And so then they're going to go out into the pastures too. Yeah. And eat lots of grass and bugs and make delicious eggs.
That's right. That's good. All right, I got to stop you and point out the bank barn here. So was the bank barn, was that original and you guys came and did this repair?
Yes. Yeah. So this barn has always been kind of iconic on this road. Nice. The original barn burnt down in like I want to say the 20s or the 30s. I just remember growing up hearing stories of my great uncle like being a little kid and hiding in the front field while it was burning. Anyway, the community came together, rebuilt the barn, but when we bought this property, you know, it's been 8 years ago now, it had a lean to it. Like you could look at the front man door and you could tell that there was a slant, and so we knew that there were some issues here that we would have to have addressed, and so we brought in contractors to assess the barn, and they're like, yeah, you know, the foundation is shot. We really need to do something about it. So talking to this contractor under the barn, I was like, okay, so this is a significant repair, a significant amount of money. Like, what's the time frame here? Because I don't just have you know, $50,000-$60,000 that I'm sitting on. And I was like, we have a year, 5 years. He's like, honestly, I'm nervous, like standing underneath that rate of it.
Yeah, exactly.
So we quickly had to find the resources to save the barn. And so actually, instead of pulling it back up on its foundation, it was just easier and cheaper. They just jacked the whole thing up, dug out from underneath of it, poured a new foundation. The cement wing walls are new, and then just sat it down. So this barn is about a foot back than what the original, what the previous footprint said. So, nice. But anyway, I was super happy to just save it. I know there was the neighbors, the next farm up. They are the same generation as my grandparents, and that old man was super stoked too to see the barn being saved, because he just remembers it from his youth. So he made a special trip down here to just thank us for just not letting it go and for saving it.
Oh, it's got such personality.
Yes. Well, and there's just so much, I don't know, I guess it's just something with your family.
So was this a dairy barn configuration? Or
no, it was a beef barn. Okay. My great uncle had some beef. Okay. So it is very, even though we utilize this barn, obviously it's the iconic catch-all for everything that is going on. So I start my meat birds in here. So I have these brooder boxes, and I actually have two. So there's a brooder box over there with a stall, and then this is a bigger brooder box with a bigger stall. So when I get my chicks in, they start in the brooder, and then they're released out into the stall. And then at 2 weeks, I move them out to the mobile tractors. And so it's just the same, you know, box on the ground that gets moved twice a day. The reason that I have two groups now is because I've got a customer that specifically requests organic soy-free birds. And so those are an organic soy-free birds. And then these are my standard birds are just organic. They're just not soy-free. Yeah. So I just get feed, it's locally milled. There's a farm just down the road from a certified organic farm who does who makes my feed for me. And then just because, you know, I can't have all that going, like in the brooder box, I have chicks that we hatched out from our laying hens, because you can't find reasonably priced chicks right now. So my friend Margaret took a bunch of eggs from me several weeks ago and hatched them out. So we're just growing our own replacement pullets. So yeah, I've got three different batches of chickens going on right now. But hopefully, like I said, this coming week, these birds are scheduled to go out onto the pasture. So it'll give me a little bit of breathing room in here.
Awesome. Okay, now you got to step out here and tell me what in the world this thing is. What is that four-legged creature?
So that is, his name is Gunner. So he is a resident pot-bellied pig. I actually had two up until recently. His best friend just recently passed away. Oh. It was very much a situation a lot like with the horses, where people are like, oh, hey, I have this animal that I don't want anymore. Can you take him? And I said, sure. So anyway, he has complete free reign of the place. He can go anywhere he wants to. He just chooses to not to. So he just kind of mills around. He gets his breakfast in the barn every morning, and he takes his naps outside when it's nice, and he just kind of hangs out.
He's a little long in the tusk, isn't he?
Yes. So every several months, we have to corral him up, trim his feet because he is not active enough to wear them down, and then also cut off his tusks. Yeah. So.
Dad, work his tailgate for me. Okay, go ahead and close it up. Hold on. Yeah, don't. Yeah. Just watch me. Make sure you don't drop that down until I'm ready to stick my head right in there. Okay. Feisty thing. She's like, no. Very good. All right, Mandy, I really appreciate the tour. Obviously appreciate the pigs. Guys, we're all loaded up and we're 4 hours back to West Virginia, so we're going to hot foot it back, and then of course we'll catch you guys as we go to unload. But I really appreciate you taking the time to A, provide pigs for us, B, show us a tour of the farm.
Awesome.
And love your setup here.
Yeah, great. Well, it's nice. We had a good time.
Yeah,
Thanks.
good seeing you again.
Yeah.
All right, say goodbye to Mindy. Mindy, say goodbye.
Bye.
And then we'll catch you guys back in West Virginia.
All righty. Bye.
Bacon bits. These Guernsey pigs. Look at these cows.
I noticed that hog panel is on the outside of the.
Did you know that most rivers actually have brain-eating amoeba? Not that they would ever kill you, they'd just make you dumber.
Settle down, settle down.
All right, so we're going to be a little ginger around them, maybe even Marianne, and just let them get acclimated. They've obviously hit the fence quite a bit and are getting them set up. Got a 2-bin feeder set up for them. I think that'll suffice for now. And using just bowls for water, let them get acclimated. Toss the hay, additional hay in there, dry hay. We're going to have a lot of rain tonight, they're calling for, so I'm hoping they'll just settle in, go in the hut, and chill out. That's the plan. So we're just going to kind of give them a wide berth right now and just let them get settled in. And it was a great trip. I really appreciate Mindy hosting us and obviously getting pigs for us here. Anxious to see how these grow out. This is our first time having Burks, and it's their Burke Blue Butt mix. So you can see 4 of them there have a lot more blue butt in them than the Burke. But I think it'll be a good. I think it'll be a good little group to raise. So we'll obviously keep documenting this on the channel. We're back in the pig business again. We finally got pigs back on Red Tool House, so I think everything's right in the world again. So we appreciate everybody watching. Pray you all have a great week. Take care.